Bekka.
The last couple of matches, it's been taking a little bit of time to get you going offensively too. How do you try to remedy that? Is that just working on that connection with the Bergen, or what do you try to do?
Yeah, just communication. I mean, like our connection is still pretty new. We did play a season forever ago back at USA, but I mean, it's a new game. You know, the great ones adjust, as Coach always says. So just finding what works. I mean, trying to kill a ball in this gym alone is hard, so I just got to figure out what works for me best in the upcoming matches.
You still feel like you're still playing defense, getting blocks, and you handle the ball too. Still feeling you're able to contribute that way, that still have an impact on the game. Are you feeling good about that?
Yeah, for sure. I think the great thing about being like a volleyball player is there's multiple parts of the game. So when one thing's not working, you're able to focus on another. And blocking has always been my bread and butter. So if attacking's just not going well, I know that I can still serve the team via defense.
How big of a, I guess, mindset change is that, considering how well offensively you came on last year, and now you're kind of relying on defense more? Is that a big mind shift change?
I'd say so. I think the biggest thing is not getting so outside of myself, just knowing that I can still kill balls, and not making it this far out thing like, oh, like I can't do this anymore. Just staying calm and realizing it's just a sport at the end of the day. And like I was telling him, like things change, and so I just got to figure out what works for me now. Because it did, obviously something worked for me last year, so I just got to figure out what works for me now.
How excited do you get when you get an opportunity to set in a match?
I love it. Oh my goodness, I love it all the time. So I got a few opportunities in today's practice, and it's just my favorite thing. Like, I love the sport. It brings me a lot of joy. And when I get to set the ball, it's like a fun way for me to serve the team, especially as a middle. It's stereotyped that we just can't do anything other than hit and block. And so the fact that I get to do it and do it well, it's really fun.
You learned from your sister growing up?
Yeah, we went back and forth. I would ask for pointers from her during games, and she'd give me feedback, and so that was always fun.
Pumping with that back set you had against K-State.
Yeah.
Was that the highlight of the match for you, one of them?
I was proud of it. I wanted to kill. Okay, so I think there was two. There was one with Merritt and another one with Lindsay. I'm really happy with the one with Lindsay, but I knew I could have get Merritt off the net more. I know I'm so much better than that. So, yeah, I was happy with him, though.
How excited you guys are to host Creighton and be back here and just kind of playing in Devaney, but then also just have a packed house tomorrow night?
Yeah, man. Coach has described it as a state championship. So we beat UNO, and then now the next big one is Creighton. And so we're going into this with, it's a brand new game. We did get to have a scrimmage against them, but, teams change, even if it's just over a week. So I'm excited to, play against girls that I've either played with before or have always played against growing up. So I think it'll be a really fun game because it's, it's on our home court.
Yeah, you're from Lincoln here, but just kind of what's been your message to your teammates about how important this matchup is?
I mean, you just can't underestimate them. Like, regardless of how they've ended up in the past seasons, Creighton brings it to us every year. I think last year they took us 4, and in the previous year they went 5. So, I mean, Creighton's no joke, and especially when you're neighbors, there's always that extra tension. You see this upsets all the time with schools that maybe not have the biggest name. They always bring it for their next door neighbor.
Everybody knows Nora's sis, but Ava Martin's got off to a great start. What have you seen from her on film?
Oh, man. I don't want to give away too much. Just staying disciplined blocking, that's all I'll say on that.
It's been about a week since that match. That Riley Coliseum, at the Coliseum, they had the girl wearing a jersey. What was that moment like for you, and kind of to be part of that celebration, have her kind of pay tribute to you that way?
Oh my goodness. It just gave me a lot of gratitude, and I always wondered, I'm like, why me? Like, what do you see so special about me? And it was the cherry on top that she had the curly hair like me, and I'm like, oh, this really is my mini-me right now. And you saw she was in tears, and so my biggest thing was just to encourage her. And just her bravery is something I admire. I remember giving my first speech. I was in preschool, and it was like about breast cancer, and they're like, spread awareness. It was like a 2-word thing, and I remember I broke out into tears, and then my teacher encouraged me, and so that's what I was starting to think about. I'm like, this was literally me forever ago, and so it was really cool that I got to have that moment with her.
Is that one of the more memorable takeaways from the whole
Oh my
experience?
goodness, by far one of the most highlights of my career. Just, I don't know, to be looked up by someone that looks just like you, man. It's like, whoa, like this is the past me. So that was really cool.
Any more questions for Bekka? Okay, thank you.
Awesome, thanks.